Hello, 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 and welcome back. Everyone's had a good weekend so far. Hope everyone's had a good day so far as well. Oh, I am tired, so I apologize. My voice is going to be a bit on the deeper side for a little bit, while I kind of do my wake up. But yeah, so go over the things that have happened over the weekend. I've done a lot of cleanup, a little bit of adding a few things here and there. One thing I did add that I think would be kind of fun to just show off initially, if you would give me a moment to double check. Is this still on 6? It is. Cool, so I can show it off quickly. So, done some more assets, done some more tweaking work, fixing some old systems. I have added the passive now being a passive. The player gets it initially and you can level it up twice, or well, however many times the thing has. So you'll see with this, we will start with the little the baby moth flying around us, even though the sprite has not been updated for that still. And then also we will have access to whoever's ability we have from the assist. So yeah, I've got that. See? Already got the little puntable fellow there. So one of the better ones we've added, so I've done some tweaks to a couple of EXs, but this is the one that I'm happy with the most. Yeah, so I've added full moon. Now there's a little bit of tweaking that I'm still going to do to it as we go, but I'm actually pretty happy with it overall. I think one of the things I'm going to do, in fact I might try and start doing some of that now, because we have variables for it all, is we're going to take this and we're going to get player stats. No, wait, there's actually a function for this, right? Movement. Player movement. There we go. We'll leave it at that for the moment, and then we will also have depth equal minus y, because I was seeing that. Might as well, right? Have us overlay over the top of the enemies. Look a little bit better. But yes, down there you saw number 1 hostess is one of the options for the level up. Okay, yeah, I might reduce the modifier of that a little bit. That was to be expected though, because it's currently 2.5, so honestly you could probably just half it. And it should be fine. We will see how that goes. But yeah, I got that rigged up yesterday. I saw one GIF someone did that was like insanely good and tried to emulate it with the stuff that I already had available. And I think I did a decent job. It's also really good like prep work, because it needs probably a little bit more. Okay, so we'll make it thing. But yeah, like I think it came out relatively decently. So okay, what we need is we need times point. So we want this. Try that out. This will definitely be one of those balancing acts of trying to get it all nice and clean. Actually, I'm going to give it 7.5 because that's the exact halfway point between those two. But yeah, like it's good because I'm not going to go too far into it, but it is actually helpful to have done some of the testing for this because, simply put, it's going to be used in a few other cases. So if you're wondering, the reason why I'm trying to get this right is because I want it to kind of feel like it works with the movement speed. Yeah, and so that's the thing kicking in. That's cool. This also has been buffed a little bit. The EX, it now does a lot more. I can actually probably show some of the stats. So before it gave like a little bit of armor and it gives. So let's see if I can remember correctly. It itself is actually a weapon. It's not the character. And then it gave a little bit of armor to the character, but your hitbox is kind enlarged during this time. But not by much. Like, the enemy really has to be in you to do a lot of damage, and that's fine. Now, the other thing is it gives 50 area, or 50% area. That was one of the things I thought probably wise to do. Yeah, simply put, I like, once I got it, the sizing, because I think this is the right sizing I want for it, because this makes you feel like a boss. Like, you actually feel ginormous with this, and I love it. There is some subtle changes I would like to make to it, though. We will see. Okay. There's also something I was seeing there, and it's an issue I've seen kinda laying over for a while. I want to work on it. No, it is here. Be in the create. I might have to do something about some of this at some point. The stun doesn't look like it's working quite the way I want it to. We'll see. But yeah, so that is an update to that. That's not the only one that I've updated though. I've done a little bit of updating to Vox's one as well, which does mean I do need to hit his assist at some point, because his assist is his ults, his EX, but just weaker. Which, again, I've said this before, I'm trying to refrain from that being the process that I take, but with Iron Mouse and with Vox, that works for now. Like, I didn't see a problem with it for those situations. There's also something about EXs and assists that I do need to implement, but that is something that I'm not working on right now. That might be something we work on later today though, depending on the time. So But yeah, I thought that was a cool, version of Journey. It is a massive, massive step up from what the asset previously was. I still actually have it in here. Just as a reminder, this is what the asset was before. This is what the asset is now. It's a bit of a change. I have had requested though, potentially, this does get kept. We will see. If I do keep it, I'm going to have to do some work to actually make it the same shaping and sizing. But I am super impressed with how this ended up coming out. I have said this before though, and I'm torn on this. I promised to do a version of her EX for each of her things. However, and I'm going to openly kind of call out some stuff for this. If we just open up a thing for Google, full moon, when it loads, then imagery. It hasn't changed like at all since it was really added in. And she's not done new editions very often. I believe there was one done for kind of the priestessy one that she did, but like the changes were basically just more chitin, I believe, right? But like this was an early version of it, I think, here. Oh no, that I think is the thing now. Yeah, it's the more chitin-y version. Which, again, like, I wouldn't be against doing. It's just the changes between the different full moons haven't been enough to really make it visually different, and then I would have to make up the difference as well. Because there's, at least one of the forms that I would be doing it for doesn't actually have a full moon variant. So that is an issue. So I hope it's kind of understood why I'm like, I want to do it, but also I don't really get a benefit from it. Other than just like, okay, so the difference between original and SCP would probably just be more green. And then the difference between that and then Fanta, I mean, I would have to make up the difference. That's kind of what I was saying, like, that's the problem. So I'd have to figure out a good argument for that, which I could probably do. And then I would have to figure out the final one as well, which, again, I think the only real difference is that it's probably just more chitinous and then the thing on top. So I'm going to leave it at this for now, because realistically, if I want to approach those other ones, then I could probably just recolor it for this. Like the original. Get the original asset and then like make versions of it. I'm gonna move that slightly more down. There we go. So, what is the next EX to work on though? If you're wondering, yes, this is the mess that is the code for the EX, because there is a lot of specialized arguments. So yeah, she gains healing on kill during her ult. That was a big thing that I always kind of wanted to do, because it was kind of that whole feasting giant Dark Souls bossy thing. And let's be honest, which Bloodborne Dark Souls boss did we love the most? Is the ones that heal. So, you know, right? That's definitely the reasoning. And then I've also scaled the image and stuff like that accordingly. But yeah, so area and armor get modified. What was her bonus? Speed modifier and cooldown modifier. Yeah, so she gets, for 15 seconds, she gets additional speed and cooldown reduction. That's fine. I don't see a reason to change that. I think that can be left alone. So Mary's ult. I need to test if Mary's passive is working before I touch Mary's ult, I think. I think that's kind of the short answer. So I need to actually update this. Like this needs to be turned into the newer skill constructing system. That is what needs to happen here. The benefit we have is because we're no longer so set on our structuring, because we no longer need the thing, and because this doesn't have certain things, we can pretty much just direct translate this in. So I'm going to mainly do some copying and pasting for a bit. Which is, again, these are the reworks I hate the most. Which is just sitting here slowly, going through something and just pulling it apart and moving it to the new locations. Don't need an object. Description. There is no trigger value array. So this is where things are going to get a little spicy. And a little unique for this ability. Again, Mary is the definition of a lot of unique systems going on with him that are very dangerous if I don't treat them correctly. So that. Get this. And then get this. So then we have 2 levels to add to it. And then the first one is for value 3, which is 0.1. And then just 1. Oops, that's not point, that's thing. There we go. And then it is just the same thing again. And then none of the rest of this matters. So that should be no change whatsoever in terms of functionality, just moved into our new system. So I'm gonna go pull the function for this and put it here as well, because that's something else that I'm trying to do a little bit more. We've done this, talked about this in the past, is that a lot more of these like abilities and stuff have been moved to internal, because it makes it faster and easier to change them. Now that is also another change I need to be making as I go. I'll sort that out in a second. Here. Okay, so what is the thing again? It is cool down. No, it's a skill cooldown push. Ability skill type is skill dot ability. The index is ability dot index, and then the cooldown is cooldown. So that should work now. So this is something we need to be doing a lot more, is just actually pushing through the crit cooldown stuff. Now that we actually have it. So I'm going to, so the target should be, yeah, okay. So I'm going to show debug message target. So we actually can see theoretically what the buff is, so we can check if the buff is active, or like what the buff, if the buff is active is the short answer. I'm also going to actually lower its cooldown, because I know it's every like 60 seconds or something, 30 seconds. So I'm going to make this every 7 seconds for now. So we can actually see. And we'll see if there's a crash as well. I know I said like we're working on EXs mainly. So again, EX is the big thing for today that we're going to work on. However, technically this is working on an EX. It's a bit of a wild argument for that, but... Alright, so the mini mirrors seems to be a thing. Need to really sort that out. Whatever. Okay, so cooldown reduction is what's getting reduced right now. So it's at 20%. Area is being. Cool. If we look at this, damage is increased. Nothing else seems to be. Okay. Interesting. So that was definitely an EX issue, not an assist issue. So we need to look at Mary's EX. So it's here. I think was what was breaking. Yeah. Undefined value. Okay, I'm gonna run in debug mode so I can see exactly what it means by undefined. So again, should be cooldown, so cooldown is 20%. Here we go. Array I buff variable that decrease is unable to evaluate because it's there. Wait, what am I doing? Wait, what? Okay, I can immediately actually, like, once I see that this is this. Why am I doing that? What? Wait, I'm confused. I'm actually very confused now. What? That would help with reading it. Please tell me that that's like... Did I mess that up here? No. Okay, let's rerun this because I wanna look at some variables then. There you go, slobber on me. Sure, you're a #1 hostess, Mary. Get variable I is 0. 0 should be damage. Because it's the globals. Oh god, okay. Yeah, yeah, we're back with it. No, I'm back with the program. Let's see if that fixed the problem. I shouldn't have to run a debug this time. Ink doggo. Also, why is this here and not, like, here? Oh. Alright, so... God damn, this fucking system's rough. Okay. Hmm. Okay, so which one's the one that holds the current value? So 0 and 1 are the two that we're caring about here. So 0 is always the one that holds the original amount. Okay. So I can already see one issue I have, but we'll sort that shortly. No, we shouldn't have an issue with that. Should be nice and cleanly sorted. What? Okay, I feel like I've made this needlessly complex reading this. Because I feel like we don't actually need to be doing anything with value, the 1 array. We do everything with value 0. So instead, what we'll do is I'm going to do so why is this not scoped at all? I'm going to take this and I'm going to scope this differently. So let's do that here. So, ignore this. Don't need this. We don't need that. And then we just add that. And then we reset the list at the end. That's fine to reset the list. I don't see a problem with resetting the list. Okay, let's try that. So we have a 20% damage buff at the moment. Cool. And we've got a 20% area buff. I use Alt. And we don't appear to have any buffs. And now I have a damage buff. Okay, so that's clearly just not working. Alright, I'm gonna do it this way. Technically I don't have to do it this way, but we'll do it this way. So... It's not great to be doing some of this like this, but it is also probably just more likely to guarantee what I want. Because I think what I was doing was I was copying the thing and not working correctly. Also, hello. Illegal array usage. What have I fucked up? Oh. Will that be happier? Okay. There is a simple answer. going to require a bit of rearranging. So now... Oh god, this is going to be the unfun part. Buff amount 0. How many buffs is 1? And it's 2 and 3 for the things. So this will be 2. This will be 2. This will be 2. No. Be 3. Three, 2, 2, 3, 3. What was cooldown now? Is it 3, 4. Value 4. And then if alt is active is not changed. Oh wait, this is... That's full. Oh god, okay. And now I gotta do the same shit to the EX. So now this, instead of that, it is 2. This is 1. No, 0. The duration is 4. This is 3, 3, 2, 2. Okay, so that doesn't bug out now. I'm gonna let it just go to the next thing because we should see a increase to crit chance. And damage. Cool. And then if we use alt, it should be a 30% increase to everything. Yes. And that's crit damage and movement speed. And that's the only things. Oh. That was rough, but we got it working. So when do I tell it that the alt's not the thing anymore? So when does value 5 get changed? It doesn't, so I messed that up. Okay. So just, does it need to equal? So it needs to be false. So it needs to be true thinged. Cool. And then in here, false. Boom. So now the global will not get reset for its duration. And then I think we change this from 0.1 to 0.5. To make it easier. Cool. Alright. I think that's that done. Nice. Oh. Alright. God damn. Go check this. Double check all this is working. Nice. Alright. So I'll probably need to tweak the assist a little bit. This might need further cleanup. I'm going to take crit chance and experience we might leave experience multiplier, but crit chance needs to come out. That was, to just give an example, this could just give 40% crit chance. Nothing we have in the game does that. Like, 40% crit chance is too much to really want to give like that. It just feels really, really shitty in my eyes. So I'm not gonna do that. I think that would be a bad idea. There we go, fix that. Too many problems that could occur. Experience multiplier is one that's going to probably be like, I mean, I would say under most situations, I think experience multiplier is going to be a miss, right? That's just my thoughts on it. Caisson. So my biggest problem with caissons is that I feel like there needs to be a visual aspect to this, so we know that this is occurring. But I wanted to do like particles for it, but I'm not sure how we do particles still. I'm not confident enough with the particle system in the game to introduce it. Because genuinely, that was the only rationale, is that I wanted to take this and I just wanted to add like a red glowy effect that would occur. Now, could I do something with surfaces and stuff to mimic the effect and give like a cool red glow around the character? Sure, I could probably do that pretty easily, actually. Know exactly how I would do it. Is that what we're going to do? No, I don't think so. Even if it's like a red outline, like again, it's more than doable. God damn it, Kate, you are slobbering up a storm. Lovely. So we'll probably refrain from doing anything more to that. And you just... I know, it's a bit of a colder morning, isn't it? Alright, God, we do need to get the visual update for your alt. It has had some tweaks to it. I think we did those on stream last time. Got my shirt. When we were implementing the other stuff. I'm still torn on if I want to make like a character animation for this or not. We'll see. Boobies. Honestly, I mean, outside of just like improving it with the newer systems, is there any changes I'd make? No, not really. And Guragog. Her EX is a mess. And it is mainly because we need to do visual work for it, but I'm still not sure how I want to do it. So let's explain Guru's ult and the fantasy of it. Because I think that's going to be like the best way to explain moving forward what we're talking about. Right? So Guru's EX is a delayed cast directional nuke. Now that's the boring way of explaining it. The fun way is that what you do is when you cast it, on the location you cast it from, not where you are, it will start a little thing around at the moment of lines, get to here, and then in the direction you were facing, so this way, of time of cast, it will then create a shark going that way. What was the fantasy of this? I'm sure many have seen the Inaverse or video. We'll do the outdated one again. This person's awesome. Go check it. Like, I've watched them over on Twitter a fair few times, but we'll just use the initial thing because I think this one showed the Guru one. Did it not? If not, I will skip around. Cool, it does. So this is a really cool animation a fan made, and there. So ignoring the stuff that's occurred so far, we're just mainly focused on the Guru thing coming up. And yes, by the way, this was a huge inspiration of what I wanted to do with the things. This, yeah. That was the fantasy of the EX. Was these coming up, that's what the dots coming around are, the teeth, and then it slams and moves in the direction. The thing is, we have a few approaches to how we do a directional thing like this. Now, we have just having it as a top-down sprite. Well, actually, the direction would be like this, which is what we currently have. The other argument is that we actually have it slightly 3D designed, which would give us a lot more interesting things we could do with it. However, we would then likely have to lock it to set directions that it can go from, because we would be designing each of these heads individually. Because this is often what happens with these sorts of things. If I didn't do that, then I would have to potentially have a kind of system in between these that would detect. It would angle this up until this point, and then it would swap to this one. Now that is a system that I think is unnecessary complicated on my end, and not going to actually really improve the fantasy or the visual for the player. So I don't want to do this part. However, I feel the current option, I don't know if I think it's good enough. But I also don't know if I want to put in the work to do this option here, because simply put, it kind of doesn't really do anything. Now, okay, let me explain better. The likelihood is, if I was to really, really intensely design this, ooh, that's an answer. Okay, so let's go through something. So at the moment, it is 2 separate sprites, I believe, for Guru's EX. Yeah, wind up and attack. What if we have the wind up still, so it's the teeth going around, and then once it hits this point again, cap. Okay. Oh, that was a weird noise. When it hits this, then we start the directional thing. And we make a sprite where it is basically just the same circle, but based on not really caring about the thing for the moment, because we'll just do that, it will have this side come up and collapse over to this side. So the head comes down and then collapses, and that becomes our then directional projector. Because with this piece here, regardless of what direction we have, we can use that. And we can have this overlay this, so we can keep this around until this is fully overlaid it. God, that sounds like a really, really fucking complex sprite, though. Does mean that basically what we have now is what we still will have. So I know there's currently some bugs with the system as it is because it hasn't been updated to using new weapon logic, which we can do pretty quickly. I'm going to spread this out into the new constructor. So we can take the EX and put it here and work on it a little bit more intensely. Because what we saw here with Mary's is exactly why I should have just moved the EX over to the other thing, because of the amount of like switching back and forth and making it harder to read certain things. Because yeah, so at the moment this is it, and the object I think does a lot of the heavy lifting on the step side of things. Yeah, it does the work there. So the best part is with Gura's change to how the changes to how weapons function, we have a lot more we can do here. Because what we can actually do is we can get pathing. Yeah, we can do pathing. So all right. So the thing is, we could have it like a very short, a short window where the collapse things happens, which it probably should be. It should be like about half a second that it occurs over. So we'll have to potentially work with the image speed there. But I think that it's a fair number of frames that we'll want. And then, yeah, once it's final frame, then we move on, right? And then, funk type on path. Function. There we go. Will that work? So now let's go to Gura and set her thing to 6 so we can actually do some testing with the shark. Again, I'm not going to worry too much about the assets for the moment because I'm not too motivated to work on them, and I would prefer to get the baseline of the weapon functionally working because it's not going to change. Oh yeah, stop, because we're going to try and use the base weapon. Because there's going to be no benefit to using the other one anymore. Okay, the thing's not working correctly. Because that should not be going that far. Okay, so what have I got wrong about setting up a weapon pathing? Found out something in Genshin Impact. Most of the original Archons are dead. That is most likely because none of them used shoes, leading to me believe at some point in life. Oh my god. I mean, it's not wrong. Like, because... Okay. My knowledge of Genshin lore is a bit rough. All of the Archons we've met... Let's see. Don't know jack shit about Venti off the top of my head. Because, like, I know the Aqua one, I mean, isn't the dude, like, a reincarnation of some, like, I don't know if it's I think it was a water monarch from the past? So that's why he has so much power, but Fuena, or whatever her fucking name was again, is the current Archon? And then, like, the current Nature Archon is, like, a clone or some shit? I can't fucking remember. Oh my god, trying to remember all this. Look, all I can tell you is that the Electro Archon Raiden is hot as hell and was basically the closest the game ever got me to actually playing. Which is why I pulled the shit out for Akril when she came to Starro. My brain is trying to, like, do its best to figure out the fuck like Honkai had going on with it, man. The Honkai Genshin. That is a valid reason. The May universe is based. Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, come on, it's good. I love you in every universe. That joke all over again. Okay. So why does this work and the other doesn't? But yeah, no, my knowledge when it comes to, like, some of the Genshin stuff, I feel like is so flaky because it's very much based around if it's been talked about, then I do some research, then I know, but when it's not, I have no idea. What is the current task? The current task is cleaning up some of the EX stuff at the moment, because realistically, this is the funny part. I talked about this a little bit, I think, last week, but I've talked about it on Twitter a bit now. On my end, I'm just doing some necessary maintenance and cleanup that's been needed to be done. There's a couple of things I'm doing that I can't show on stream, but of the stuff that I can show on screen, I've got, like... I don't even know if I've actually got enough to cover all of this week's time doing streams. Like, I'm gonna be honest. I've got that little left to do before the next update. I smashed out some more work this weekend as well. That was supposed to be stuff that I was going to work on during streams this week, but you know, that would be smart. I mean, I could just take this like that, yeah. Okay. So what do we go? Back to you. No, not you. You. I'll close up that for now because we don't need to see it. Just put in that. Do that. Should function? Actually, I'm going to comment out the speed. That's probably not worth testing because it's not going to do anything, is it? Let's see how this breaks it. So these should disappear now. Yeah, they're using the correct pathing logic. So yeah, it's not going to move anymore. That's fine. Give it speed again. Let's see if we can get weapon pathing to work. Yeah, see, it just doesn't seem like it's actually removing. Yeah, no, that's clearly not removing. Because it's camera, not room, so it should definitely be removing. So what does the weapon need initially that's different? Or is there a difference between the teleportation points inside the hub area? Yes, there is. There's not going to be much of a difference right now because but if you look in, I'll have to move the game window a little bit. If you give me a moment, here we go. Should be a little bit easier to see. If you look in the bottom right here, you'll see zone. That doesn't really matter, but you'll see there's modifiers. So this one gives you a level to start the game, get 100 health, and enemies have plus 30 armor. This one you get more experience, enemies also have 30 armor, and then this one is enemies have haste, but you get the bonus experience still. So yes, the 3 teleportation areas are randomized with what modifiers they'll give you, based on the list and based on the modifier values that you can hit. We did some testing last week where we increased the modifier value so we could get some of the more powerful modifiers working. So yeah, that's why if you ever wonder why when I come into the room I instantly see like the level up thing, that's because it's one of the modifiers coming in. That was always one of the big goals since beginning of this year, was to introduce the idea of TFT portals, in a sense. I think every run should feel different to an extent. Regardless of what character you play, regardless of like this or that, you should feel like every run has a bit of uniqueness. That, sure it's random, sure it might aggravate some people that are min-maxing, because they'll want specific modifiers, right? Like I want the EXP ones because they're going to make me stronger, or I want this one and that one. But like, I'm not just going to give you the best things ever. There's going to be stuff that you can control, and then there's stuff that you can't control. That's the aim. The overall goal of what I'm trying to approach with some of this. So what does this have that a weapon that is pathing? Stagnant's false. Yeah, see, like, I changed the remove type, don't I? It's remove type, duration, target. Target should just get changed. Yeah, target gets changed with the pathing movement structure. I'm going to ignore this for a moment because we want to be able to see this glitch, basically. So what is it? It's stagnant into... Oh, fuck. F1. It's not there either. God damn it. Stagnant into remove type none by default. Which is fine. Hit type 1's trigger point, cooldown display, that's all fine. Yeah, see, this is the thing that I'm confused by, is I'm just not sure why remove type getting changed to path isn't causing problems. Because, like, if we follow the trident, it doesn't take too long before it vanishes. Same. It should be the same with the shark, but the shark's just going forever. Which means that it's probably not getting actual remove effectiveness. Have I spelt it wrong? No. Am I not setting the target? Maybe. Let's have a little look. So if we do this, and then we have show debug message target. It should give us a value back. Otherwise, it should just be an empty thing, right? Interesting. The target's changing constantly. That's the issue. Okay. Oh, I know what's happening. Watch how this just solves the problem. Did you copy paste the Trident code and just change the... no. So this has to be very different because technically the object transitions into it. No, I bet you this just solved the problem though. Yep. Solved the problem. Wow, would you look at that? I'm stupid. Welcome to programming. You are God and then you are stupid. Distance should definitely be further though. Let's see what 500 gives us. So, to explain what just happened and what a single thing was, this was image index, not sprite index. Image index is the numerical value of which frame it is on in the sprite info. I was checking if the sprite that it should be, which is the shark, was equal. So if the image index, which is the variable of what frame it's on, the number of what frame it is on, so from 0 to whatever frame, there's only one frame, so it's always 0. And then if that was equal to the sprite hold, which is a string variable, like a variable of stringed out information of numbers and letters, telling you where the image index is, where the visual thing is in the code. The actual image, basically. I was asking, what frame is it on? Is the frame it's on the equal to the actual image data itself? Surprisingly enough, no, those will never be equal. So therefore, this bit of code here was running indefinitely, which meant that the weapon pathing code was being reset every frame, which means it would never get to its path location because the path location was getting reset constantly further and further out. Welcome to what small little tiny lines of code problems can do. Okay, so yeah, that is a little too accurate, yeah. No, reaching godhood requires sacrifices. Programming, yeah, it's your own sanity, alright? So now, how far does this go? That still feels really short. I could honestly double that, and I feel like that would be the worst thing ever. Because that would basically be the entire map, right? Make it fucking global old. It's great. I mean, there's another thing I could also do. We'll see if I want to do that or not. Yeah, see, that's like about a third of the map. So that's the middle of the map. And it gets to here. That's, yeah, no, that's probably about a third of the map in height slash thing. I think that's reasonable. So one thing I could potentially do, just because I was thinking about it then, is there's two things I could actually do. There's one thing is I could make it do something at the end of its distance, and that might be cool. And if I was to do that, there's also the consideration of why not make it so it's actually a when it hits an enemy, it's does this sort of thing. And at that point in time, yes, I'd just literally be making Jinx Rocket from I could pretty much just make Jinx Rocket from fucking thing. What's it called? League of Legends. Specifically the Swarm mode. But yeah. No, I'm gonna leave it at this for now though. I think this is perfectly fine. The damage is really, really substantial with this. It goes quite a long distance. It's not powerful per se. It's just really good. And that's kind of what Shigura needs, is her design is supposed to be very slippery, very good damage, pretty consistent. So that's good. I'm happy with the current state of that, other than the visuals, which we already talked about that. Is that her ability? No, that is her EX, which is best described as their ultimate ability or their special ability or whatever. It's very much based off like fighter games, right? They have their special move, their EX move, their extreme move. So think of whenever I say EX, that's what it should be thought of. It's their. This is on a minute cooldown to give an idea. That shark that you just saw. I was just testing it, so it was on 6 seconds instead. Like with Iron Mouse, her EX is like it's every enemy gets just killed, and then make all EXP fly to you. But it's got like 100-second cooldown, so you can't just do it all the time. But it's really potent when it occurs. Then you've got other ones like, I mean, Aura's is a low damage-ish nuke. However, it's designed that way because she can get a lot of EX gauge reduction and increases. Because she has she has lots of ways of basically getting EX gauge. So she actually is quite happy to have a weaker EX that's a bit more like common and useful that way. Caissons, I think, is literally just like you get fucking... Is it just... Yeah. It is, you get a damage buff and you get a crit and cooldown buff. Some of them are very high impact and flashy, some of them are not. I mean, do you want to see the one, Sasha, that I showed off this morning that this is something that took me like pretty much all day yesterday to get the stuff done. This is by far one of the EXs that was like the most defining in my mind as to why I wanted to do them. Like 100% of all of the characters, this was probably the EX that was designed before EXs were designed. So, I'll actually edit the code so I can show this faster. Give me a sec. That's the code for it there. It's a fucking nightmare. It's one of my many, like, pride and joy kind of moments. So, got Juniper running around, all cute and all, and boom! There we go. There we go. Just transforms for like 15 seconds into full moon. There's some tweaks I need to still make to this. One of the tweaks is I want it to actually naturally go back to a default. But at the moment I don't have that. But yeah, no, she very scary with this. Does she get reduced damage too? So let me do it again and I can actually show the stats. So if we go into here, so she gets 50% area is one of the things I just added this weekend when I was like, you know what? Once I got the size working, you couldn't see certain abilities anymore, and I was just like, it just doesn't feel good. And yes, by the way, the screen is zoomed out. The camera has zoomed out a lot to make this work. That was a system I implemented months ago because of this ability. But yes, she also gets 100 extra armor at the moment as well when she's used this. As well as her hitbox. So her hitbox gets edited while in this form, but if you actually look, I have to be pretty much on top of them still to take the damage. And on top of that, this is the beauty, this model you actually see is not her model. This is a weapon. It's actually a weapon code. So that's why you're seeing damage being done constantly, is because it's the damage of colliding with her full moonfall. She also gets a passive during that time that kills healer. I don't think they heal for much. Let's see if I can find, the healer's 3, yeah. So for everything you kill during this, you only get like 3 health. I could probably pull this up a little bit because this was done back when character health didn't exceed like 70. Now everyone's like 1,000, so bit of a difference. But yeah, it also has like additional knockback, but I don't know if that's actually implemented anymore. No, it is not. But yeah, no, this is one of the big things that pushed the desire to make EXs. Because I was just sitting there like, well, what do I do for it? Do I make it something that like is a conditional she can get? And it's like, but that just kind of seems a bit shitty. I already have something like that with Gura and that makes sense there, but... So it was a nightmare to try and figure it out, and then I was like, you know what? I like the idea of an ultimate ability. And then I was playing... the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure fighter game, All-Star Battle Arm. And I was like, oh, you know what? I really like how every character has like that signature move, the EX. And it's great. I loved it. It was cool. And then I also liked the assists. And I was like, oh, well, what if I added an EX and an assist to the characters? That sounds cool. And then the Holo, is it Holo Break or whatever the fuck it was again? The Hololive side-scroll fighter game, the 2D fighter game, that came out, and that also kind of had that sort of concept. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do that. Your solution might be able to solve my problem. Oh, I hope it does. So yes, I absolutely adored this, but it's definitely... This is kind of where I just point at the fact that, like, sometimes people will go like, oh, well, why was this added to the game? It's like, well, it was to solve a problem. And the problem was I wanted to do this. I wanted to have a cool, epic feel thing. How do I accomplish that? And I want to stress these ideas were fairly early on in design space. Like, I think... When did EXs get added? That's actually a good question. Let me look at characters and think about when EXs got added. EXs probably got started getting added... when Aura was designed. Aura started getting designed before her debut. Figure that out. She's what, had her 1 year anniversary like last week before? Yeah, week before last, I think. So, It's a very old concept. Like, I'm pretty sure I can go through my notes and find the exact moment I started discussing EX's characters. Let's see. That's a lot of math. Oh, that's a lot of math. Oh, God. No, that's awful. No, it was even earlier. Holy shit, was it back then? Oh my god, EXs are as old as assists and passives. This is literally one of the first things I designed. Holy shit, I didn't realize it was that old. I thought it was a little newer than that. So fun fact, can I show all of this? Yes. This here, is the exact moment I wrote the initial list of characters. This is the initial list of characters here. It's probably really hard to read, just because my writing's hard to read, but we've got list of VTubers I would like to do. So we've got Iron Mouse. Lists with AoE, pink hair, healing as damage. Juniper, full moon form. Moth, floating, baby moth. Gura, shark, water, red Gura. Mume, owl, travel, psycho. Crony, timed, snake, blue, clocks, box. Demon, cooking, old Japanese clan. Nyanas, eldritch horror, transformation. Tentacles, catgirl, shy lily, horny, orca. Light the way, glowing. Nina, fox spirit, drinking, motherly, ex-goddess of luck. Yes, I was looking in their lore and everything. Booby, claws, purple demon, brawler, gaining power, and then, yeah, that was my original list of VTubers. Most of those are in the game. And then here I have, so at this point in time, I would have had his weapon partly in. Yeah, I had started designing the long-term what the weapon was going to be. It's not anything like this. 100%. So it's Cherry Blossom Spiral around, upgrade to also have flames. Yeah, as you can probably tell, there's no flames in there. But yeah, it's like 7 petals floating around, deal 3 damage, petals, PS. We do actually have that mechanic in now. And then, yeah, later on they would just get like a shitload of damage and fuck shit up. It's great. But we got rid of that. God, that passive got removed. Yeah, that was a really bad passive idea. After defeating 522 enemies, gain 10% damage and speed. Fuck me, that would have been awful. Like, to give an idea at the moment with the way that the game is, if you're going well, that's like a minute or 2 minutes in, you get that, and then there's just nothing else. It's such a useless ability. And then his other passive was every 10 seconds, nearby enemies have a 10% chance of being stunned for 2 seconds. That sounds so bad. Oh, thank God I didn't follow through with some of these original designs. Oh, God. Here we go, King of ASMR. This was when we actually kind of came up with a good idea, which was enemies in an area are slowed and take more damage, which is currently his passive. But yeah, this is when I designed, yeah, here is where I designed Iron Mouse's weapon, Juniper's weapon, and her... Oh god, what? I think Gura EX seems a bit underwhelming and underpowered for the late game when more stronger enemies spawn. That's just fair, actually. That's a very valid thing to kind of comment on. Currently, how much damage does it do? 40 damage. So would it need to come up in power? I mean, keep in mind it's going to scale with damage amplification. The idea of it is that it probably needs to have more scaling. Yeah, I think that's probably a valid point to put in. Is that it... Because the idea of her ult... So there's 2 points to her ult that need to be acknowledged. One is the idea of it is it's supposed to be... when you're at the stage of the game where you kind of can't move maybe as much. So it gives you a cleared line that you can try and like go, okay, I'm going to use this as my way of getting out of this fight. The other thing that needs to be acknowledged is that she does have Return from the Deep. Now, this ability is a resurrection effect that triggers your EX. So it automatically will trigger your EX regardless of the energy value that you have, and it will reset the value. So theoretically, if you wanted to utilize it correctly, what you could do is you could oh god, my brain for a moment just completely turn off. Yeah. What you could do is you could activate your EX, then take enough damage to die, and it would activate your EX again, so you could do like massive nuke damage that way. I do agree though, I think what we could do with the damage with Gura's thing is add pseudo execution damage to it. Right? So what do I mean by that? What we could do is, I see, what if her EX could stack up to 3 times? Oh, that's actually an interesting idea. Like have it so you could recast it up to 3 times, you get charges. I would have to add an entire system for that, but I don't think that would be bad. That'd be an interesting one though. That's actually probably a system I should add. Now that you say that. Well, I might not use it in this case. That's actually, like, think of that as a modifier, potentially. Like, increase EX cooldown, but, gain, like, an additional charge. Yeah, that could be an idea. Then make sure I need to make a soft cooldown between presses so you don't just accidentally use both at the same time. No, that's an interesting idea. I might actually write that down to look into. Okay, but yeah, no, I think maybe execution damage, because like I said, it could kind of be thought of as the Jinx rocket idea, right? So you could potentially, if it has execution damage, you could save it for a boss. And go like, okay, well the boss is at like this amount health, and I'm just gonna remove it now. Which I think is not a bad thing. How did they do Jinx's one in Swarm? Because I think they had a damage peak. I think it was like between damages based on missing health. I would need to add some functionality to that, but that's probably a functionality, again, I should be adding. This is the thing that needs to be acknowledged. It's like, I'm not against adding some of these systems because they probably should just be added. So, unleash a massive rocket that explodes upon hitting the first enemy or at a maximum range to deal damage to all enemies in the area. The explosion's damage is increased from 0 to 200% based on the target's missing health. Yeah, so there we go. We've got, admittedly, keep in mind, these damage values are way, way higher because their enemies have more health. I don't. I could probably consider increasing the enemy health, but then I'd have to increase all damage across the board, and I kind of don't want to. I think the damage sits pretty comfortably at the moment. But yeah, we could have it damage based on missing health. So how would I code that? We need to look at the weapon parent scripts. And we need to look at where we do damage. Here. So what we would need, where do we need to put something like that? There is a cheat that I have for it. Because just as a little fun point to look at, status effects are applied before damage. What if we added a half-second damage amplification to the thing? And then base that on missing health. So, yeah, we could do that. Alright, I'm gonna have to do some memory games on how I should best structure that. So in here, it would be under this. I actually like the idea of just having the damage amp because then it means that it's good versus bosses. What about this? If the HP pool is big enough, you can just add the missing HP to the damage or make marks on the HP bar where set multiplier is for the damage. Well, it's because, I mean, that's why I say, like, it could just be as simple as smacking it like this. Where it's like, if they're at full health, it does the exact damage. This is just an increase to the damage. So, if we look at this formula here, it's 20% for every 10% missing health, capped at 100% target's missing health. So, outside of code-specific scenarios, you're pretty much gonna deal, like, with a boss, you're probably gonna just smack it at, like, 80% of its missing health, so you're gonna deal 160% damage on top of its normal thing. So if I say do 50 damage, then it would do 130 damage. And I can raise that base number and have that modified by global damage, which I think it is. Yeah, it is. So Because that's modified by global damage, it means that if you have 200%... No, I actually like that idea. I really do like the idea of just adding a multiplier based on missing health. Because as well as... I could actually explain it as it's like a half-second debuff that it gives them, that all damage during that portion of time. So it means that if you're really, really like, it gives a skill expression room of if you're really smart, what you'll do is sit on top of the enemy, fire your ult, so you're in an extremely risky position, and that way you can dump all of your damage at the right time. So you have like a, I don't know if I will go half second, we might go with a full second and then. But like we just make it a full second window where all damage you deal, all damage they take is amplified by their missing health up to 200%. That sounds insane. I'm definitely gonna have to pull that down in terms of a value. But I do think that that's an idea that we could go with. So what do I need to be passing through? What is a weapon that applies a status effect that I want to mimic? Mothgoop. You apply a DOT. So we need effect. We need something like this. Enemy debuff script. Music always knows what to do at the right time. It does, doesn't it? So, name, duration. And then the function. And then we'll need arguments. So I believe the debuffing system. Gotta go. All good. Catch you later. Trying to remember how the debuffing system works. Because I'm pretty sure it's like... How do I do a stun? Stun is probably the best example. Oh no, here we go. We've got several different ones. So tag details. So that's the value getting passed through. Yeah. So ID. Not that one. Stun is status and ID. So I probably need to actually just write a status effect for this. Yeah, it looks like I need to write an actual specific status effect design. So, function. That's not how you spell vulnerability. Fuck, how do I I spell vulnerability? My brain's not there. Google. There we go. So, ID value. Okay. Didn't I change that? Yeah, this is enemy debuff stuff. God, trying to remember all of this. So yeah, it's probably correct to then just keep going with the making it as its own thing. But how do I do it? What is there consistency on how I handle these? Wait, I really need to read some of these old systems, because the status effects is something that I've probably been needing to look at for a long time. Because I did do them up at one point, and I was really proud of how they were at the time, but they have not been well treated since. Just because they're not exactly the most common concept, and I just copy and paste a lot of the time. So, create status effect, create time source trigger of that, get array get index of status effects equals 1, Enemy status is status. So if it has the status, if it is stunned, do this. Because this is the list of status effects that it can have, right? If it exists and the thing is a thing, play heal. So this goop DOT is not even used anymore, I don't think. Execute is the thing. So it's stun and slow that I need to be reading the most, and they're pretty consistently the same, right? No, they're not. If instance oh, it's because slows are applied very weirdly, right? So I need to apply it very similar to a slow. Applier ID. Ah, okay. No, I kind of understand why I've got the ID thing there. No, okay, so I need to mimic this. I need to mimic slow. Okay, so I'm going to copy this. But instead of slow amount, it's just going to be value. That's not how you spell value. Now, slows. We don't have a thing for that at the moment, so maybe we need to add that to enemies. Which is vulnerability. Objects, enemy parent. No, I should just be doing it as a normal debuff. What am I doing? I think I'm making it far more complex than it needs to be by taking this approach. Right? Whoops. Let's look at how these trigger. So that's enemy debuff duration, is that. How does enemy debuffs get triggered? So what happens when it runs out? So that's the clear out. So I need to, no, I do need to write something custom then for vulnerability, at least this kind of vulnerability. Because it needs to be updating itself constantly. So... I still can't remember how to spell right now. Okay, close that. So I'm going to need the ID of the target, the name of what did this. Tick rate's going to be a default 0.5 no matter what. Duration for the effect. And the value decreased. And then we'll need all of the normal debuff things. So replace equals true. Stack equal false. Stack self will equal false. Stack count will equal 0 as well. Stack count will equal 0. I don't know what initial tick is on there, but yeah, we're gonna probably be using the DOT a fair bit for this. So we need. Oh, initial tick is to not have it occur immediately. Yeah. I actually like that. Because what we can do is we can take the enemy vulnerability script and we can modify it slightly. With like a coating script. We'll see. For now, let's just have it as this way. So we're going to need damage taken amp plus equals vol value. No, I should be fine actually, now that I think on it. It depends on how I want to do the calculus. Actually, we can probably have this as a function. Have it as a return. Yeah, we could run it as a return function, right? So that's func, that's von value args. Trying to think how because I'm gonna need to pass through the ID, the target, right? And any other arguments that need to go in? Is there any other arguments I would need to push through? Yes, I would. Right? No, I mean I'm writing the function. I'll just manual write all of them. No, I shouldn't. I should have it as a pass-through variable, so I need to find a way to push in how do I... C array functions. So that's array create. All the part, all or part of an array into another array at any position. Okay. So array index would be 1. On args. Zero array length. Font. I think that should go and do what I want. hate myself. Yeah. How's it going? It's going. Man, I love to hate myself, don't I? Okay. That should work. Oh god, my eye is hurting. Okay, so with that working like that, I'm gonna yoink this. At least you aren't making a combat system for multiplayer. Joke's on you. I'm not doing that right this moment, but I have been working on some of the stuff for that. Don't hate yourself, that's my job. Fair enough. So I need to... What do I need to get out? So this is the trigger for the script. So what I'm going to need to do here is I'm going to need to... I'm gonna need to send this value through. So we need a... var value equals and that means I need to do this here. And I need to do... So to explain shittily what I'm doing, what we're trying to set up for is basically applying a damage amplification debuff to a target with a bunch of functionality that means that I can add in what was talked about earlier, which is a debuff to basically mean I could add execution damage, for example. Like, a target will take more damage based on their missing health. This sounds like a cool idea to me. It sounded like a cool idea until I have to start implementing it. So now we take this and we add it here, but we add it as a minus. Yeah, I knew that was too much to hope for. Alright, so we don't need tick rate, because we're not doing an enemy DOT handler script. We are doing an... Oh no, I do need a tick rate. Tick rate's just going to be default. It's fine. 0.5. And we're not doing this. We're doing a enemy vulnerability script. Alright, So I'm going to need to pass through value. And this will be at the end here. And then that should be working now. Cool. So what else do I need to make this function? Name, duration, then it is these two. So instead of damage, we have these two. But I'm also going to need this just as an emergency. Oh god, okay. And then we're going to need to take these again. Replace damage with them. So values in there, those two are in there, those two get passed through, initial ticks getting passed through, ID, value. I don't see anything wrong. Let's see if we can get this to work. So we go here. God, there's a lot that I need to pass through then. Name, duration. So just make that 1 second. So function is ID first. Then we don't need to pass through anything else in this case, because we'll do the rest here manually. So return. How do I want to do the maths for this? It would just be, I'm pretty sure it's just HP for these targets, and then what do they have for, what is the value called for max HP on an enemy? Apparently enemies actually don't have inherent HP. I'm mind boggled. What? No, wait, seriously? Have enemies... It's never had HP? I know I said it here, but like... Do enemies not actually have a base HP concept in them? Fuck. Fuck me, I've really moved stuff around, haven't I? Wait, so... Okay, we're at args. Replace. Stacking. Self count. Stack count. Initial tick. I think that's right. Function. Arg. Replace. Yes, I'm using my finger on the screen, by the way, at the moment. Stacking. Stack self. Stack count. Initial tick. Cool. Because I want it to have the initial tick. I want it to initially have the damage amplification, so it does it to the thing. So I'm gonna write in quickly in here. Draw text transformed. I'm going to have them draw damage take an amp. So everyone should just be saying 1 initially, but we're gonna... Oh, hello. They're not gonna like stuff. Okay, so I need to manually put these in then. So arg's gonna be that. Replace... Always true. Stacking is false. Stack of self, stack count. Are you now not going to complain? Cool. Not liking arrays with empty values, how dare you? Okay, you should still have like a 6-second thing to your ult, so I can test this. You do not. Fuck. Of course you don't. Why would I... Why would I make that? God damn it. Okay, so I need enemies to spawn. To see, they all have the damage amp basic on them. Cool. I need to lower the damage so I can actually see. Doesn't seem like it. Okay. What part is not working? Fuck. Oh. This is the worst part of this thing. Is like, what part of this isn't working? It's sorry, brain is really trying its best right now. What the fuck is that? Okay. So I'm going to have you return show debug message of value. Let's see if that does something. I need to see if it even is true. It is. Am I not applying It's also wrong calculation, but we'll fix that at some point. I'm gonna ask you to get a kick because I need to sit a bit differently. I'm actually very confused by this now. So we know that the value is being calculated. So why is the value being calculated but not being applied? It is. Okay, so it's doing like 4 damage, or 4.6. Still just doing 4.6. Let's give this a longer duration. Like a significantly longer duration to really test the feeling of this. Because maybe 1 second's not long enough to really get the feel of it. Again, I want to acknowledge I know the calculation's wrong at the moment. I'm not going to fix it right now. So, 3.85. 3.85. I know damage amp is calculated in dealing damage, right? So that shouldn't be wrong. Because it should be part of this system here. When we go, yeah, damage taken amp is times by amplification. So the higher the value, the more damage we'll deal. So that should be correct. And these values here are indicating as such. So why are they not correctly displaying on the enemy parent? It's almost like they were not... I don't know if I'm getting the right values. Doesn't seem right. What if... Take this value. Is that what's wrong? So 3.85. Seems like it's only applying to the alt. I mean, if that's the case, I'll take that. Sure. Okay, so if that's the case, times 20, sure. And so we just saw there, by the way, one of the issues we have. Speed hold needs to be set. I'm not sure why that's the case. I'm gonna have to potentially do some digging. So the ult should just hit like a truck right now, because it's only dealing like 1 damage, I think, base. Yeah. Cool. So I'm going to raise this to 10 damage. Scary. Again, I think this is fine. I think this is actually a really reasonable amount that we're adding in with this. It's kind of strange that this is how this is working, though. I would have thought that maybe I misunderstood some things. I'll have to trial this around a lot more later as well. That will definitely be something. Sorry, I was just double checking the weather. Interesting. Yeah, okay. I'm fine with this for now. This does mean that the alt has a lot more scaling than it may perceivably have. And it does mean that it's going to be good versus bosses to an extent. I mean, the simple thing is I could lower this and raise the base damage up to 50 again. So it does feel like a big number. And then we can go through and add the animations to it later that we want to do. I need to hit this pretty hard to just keep swimming because I don't believe it's been working for a while. Not correctly anyway. That's definitely a concern. Oh, I need to watch that. The elusive samurai thing that got added, that released recently on YouTube, I think it is. It was a fan animation project. It looked really interesting from some of the stuff that I saw. Oh god, I want to show a meme I saw the other day. It's a programming meme, and I think it's one of the funniest ones I've seen in a while. It's like the most accurate to like the arguments I keep fucking seeing about how AI is going to take over. It's this. I love this. I love this so much. So, to explain to people that might not understand what this is, it's basically taking a statement at like how like, the whole, it's like, oh, I downloaded this and now anyone can do programming. It's like, yeah. Can build something in minutes. Show me, local host. Let me explain to you why that's probably just the funniest shit ever. It's just, yeah, they think that they've done something amazing and then they haven't set up the framework for it correctly or anything. It's a local host. It's not how that works. You need to, if you're trying to show off like that, at least send the fucking file. Not. So point is, this here is exactly why AI won't take people's jobs, because the people that would have the AI, the people's jobs that would be taken by AI are the only people that can probably actually use the AI to take their jobs. Is the short answer. And even then, any really good programmer will probably agree with me on the statement that AI is a tool. It is good for sorting some stuff out, but like most of the time if you're going to use AI to code, you're basically getting a snippet of code that you would have probably found in like 5 different necro forums put together, and it's written wrong. And now you need to implement it and debug around it. Most of the time it's not correct. Most of the time. You cannot rely on something like ChatGPT or any thing to program for you. So, very funny to me. Just that kind of concept of it's generative things taking people's jobs and being like, oh, they're too good, they're gonna take your own. It's like, no. You know what sells games? Innovation and interesting new things. You know what doesn't sell games? Making the exact same thing 500 times over. Guess what generative does? Is it literally takes things and makes the most standard concept and doesn't innovate. It can't innovate. It literally, by design, cannot innovate. It can pseudo-innovate, but that pseudo-innovation is still within parameters. So, no. Don't rely on generative AI for that stuff. Again, good tool for certain cases. Nothing more. Oh, Shyla EX. I should do that at some point, shouldn't I? I don't quite know what I want to do with hers now, because I've kind of played around with a few different ideas. But I do have all the stuff I could do for this. Like, I added this function system. I don't know. I added a way to toggle the player to be immune. And then okay, I'm just gonna go grab a fucking thing for this. Sort this out properly in a second. How is it done? God damn it. Where is that old thing? Push. So we want pull. So we want push to be false. What the fuck is the difference between these? Positive there. Yeah, so we want push to equal false. And we want push power to be greater. And then I'm going to steal the thing we've had before. I'll have it there. And then skill constructor, so we've got value, level up. Stagnant is actually true. Remove type. This is what I need. Remove type is type. It's gonna be duration. And then hit type. Hit type weapon. Per tick. And then we go into here because I'm going to steal a small snippet of code from an old thing. Alright, let's try if that works. Oh, I haven't set a duration. It's going to be 1 second. Give me a sec. Try this. Alright, Shy Lily, let's see if you do your thing. Your EX still... Oh, hello. What? What? I'm actually so confused by that. What? might have to try that out a few times to see what the fuck happened just then. Alright, Shay Lily, let's get your alternate look called. Oh, it's not gonna reset as well. We'll see if it triggers once. If it does, it doesn't. We'll work from there. But it's not gonna reset currently, because I don't have a reset script in. Not set before reading. Ah, yes. Because this is technically still the thing. Cool. While that's here then, I'm just gonna quickly, there. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what this is. I don't know why this error is even occurring. It's not needed there anymore. Oh my god, wait, is it, I have an idea of it. Might be to do with the shiniest mark. Oh no, not set before reading. True. Okay, let me quickly... So I've got two things I'm going to look at quickly. So first one here is we need to just play this to O player. The second thing is with the mark. That might fix that from happening. The fact that it's inconsistent is a bit of a worry though. 'Cause it's really hard to bug fix something that's not consistently breaking and it doesn't have like any unique conditions that are occurring. Or any clear unique conditions. Sprite's error is not set. SP, no, it would be, gush, base. We're getting there, we're getting there. I'm just forgetting variables along the way, it's fine. Okay, the fact that it's not happened like twice there is indicative that I think that was the issue, is that it was just like applying it incorrectly. Okay, so this I'm going to raise to like 40. And there's another thing I need to toggle, and I don't know if I've set this up correctly yet. Or if I don't know if I've even set it up at all. I have not set it up. Okay. So I need to go to initialization. Let's do it inside the player, because it's supposed to do the stuff inside the player now. So that is true, and that is false to be true. Cool. And then we go character in here. Player not equals true. And then on the remove thing, equals false. Okay. Should mean the player can't move now. Should mean. If I tell it that's the case. Did not work. Why did it not work? Oh, I know why it didn't work, because there's a whole thing. Yeah. Boom, it's gonna work now. I keep forgetting that's kind of how, like, that about the way that those get written, because I don't write them that long that normally. Too many conditionals in an if get hard to track. Now I can't move. And now I can move. Oh, hello. Unknown object target is not set before reading. Yeah, I think I know where that happens. Potentially. Actually, no, that's a good question, because that should be getting checked for now. think that's the... No, it's instance. I might have to play around with that a little bit. But the short and sweet of that is good. Yeah, no, I'm gonna have to play around with it, I think. Yeah, I can't think of a good solution right now to that problem. I think my brain's just mostly fried at this point, really. To be fair though, that is the last EX to get working, technically. I think all of them are working and are functional, not doing exactly what I want in terms of visuals and animation, but we're getting there. So, not much longer to go with that. That's a good thing. No, I'm pretty happy with that, actually. Ugh, yawn. Tired. Alright. With that being the case, I can't think of anything more to really do at the moment. I might have to look at why this wasn't working, because it might be still a cool thing to add as the vulnerability. But I have a feeling I've written something wrong. So we'll see. It's just how that always works, right? But with the narrowing down of time that I need to work on this, I'm kind of willing to take it a bit slower to just make sure I've got all of the things I want done from my end and the any other end that's working on this as well at the moment. Yeah, I think that's the main thing, right? Is there anything else I can think of to get sorted right now? Honestly, really not. Oh, okay. Can I just speak to one thing real quickly? So there's a pianist that she was always like did covers of anime and other in-game music and stuff like that. It was always cool, and she would dress up for them. And in more recent times, her thumbnails especially are a little bit more aggressively, scantily dressed, and it's sadly enough that's the meta, right? Like, I don't blame them at all. It sucks, but it is it is also their choice, right? Like, if they didn't want to do this, but they were pressured into it, that's a big difference. But yada yada. Anyway, so it's been brought up a lot and it's been memed about constantly of just that one fucking like hentai that's getting brought up with the girl with the glasses, you know what I mean. And then I just saw something now from one of the people that I saw a tweet that were going like, oh, I need to go to hell for this, whatever. Complaining that Asmongold showed that tweet, and from that it looks like they're pushing hate for them. And it's like, well, no, that's what the tweet looks like. You just got publicly showing that, and now it looks like you're an asshole because you were an asshole. Just not as many people saw it. Like, you have to realize on the internet, stuff like sarcasm doesn't exist. You have to like everything you write and post or read on the internet, you have to take the assumption that people are going to read that in literal sense. Because they're not going to have the context that you think it's a humorous context joke. So that being the case, surprisingly enough, yeah, you're going to look like an asshole a lot of the time if you're a sarcastic ass. It's a difficult thing as well. This is why, as the streamer, I have the advantage. I can use sarcasm, but it's harder for chat to, because chat is text. And I have to take that in a sense, quite often, quite in a literal sense. Admittedly, that does mean I miss jokes, and I try and do my best to read the context clues and think about what I've said and play off that sort of thing. But it is really hard sometimes. And that's where, like, emotes help. Or adding context, visual context. But yeah, if you're gonna say, like, you need to go to hell for this, show 2 images of that person, and then cry when someone shows it that it makes it look like you're an asshole, you have to realize that from the beginning, you looked like an asshole. There is no difference. It's like, oh, I hate this person because it makes me look like an asshole. It's like, oh, it's not the other person that's making you look like that. So, yeah, it's an interesting one. And to be fair, they could also be joking about the fact that, like, Asmongold was making them look like an asshole. Like, but how am I supposed to know that? When you look at the internet, you have to take it two ways. You have to take it in the literal sense and with a grain of salt. If that, right? When someone says something, I often, especially me, I take it in the literal sense first, most of the time. Go, hey, okay, so what does this literally mean? And then I go like, okay, well, it's a factual statement. I don't believe it until I see evidence. But when I'm talking with my mates, for example, I'll often, like, if I'm sending them a meme, it's a bit different. Why? Because we know each other. We know context clues, for the most part. I mean, at the moment, I've not been chatting with too many of them, just because I've been sorting some stuff out and been very, very busy. And admittedly, I haven't got great things to talk to many of them about. So, just kind of keeping that, like, if you have not got something nice to say, don't say anything at all mentality in the forefront. Yeah, words. Which is good and bad. But yeah. Oh, you know what I fucking hate? There's a whole bullshit going on at the moment for Twitter in Brazil, right? So, apparently, again, I want to say, this information comes from not 100% reputable sources. It's a bit all over the place, but there's a little bit of evidence to back it up, so I'll take it as I will. The stuff that I've seen has, like, stuff about the reason why Brazil went to ban is because they wanted, like, specific people off the platform, and Twitter refused. So then they said, okay, well, we'll get rid of the entire platform in our country as a extreme measure. And they didn't back down. And even then, they've still released the names of the, like, 7 people that they wanted to remove or something. I don't know. It's really fucking annoying, though, because now you've got Elon basically just going, oh, well, I mean, just use a VPN. And it's like, okay, so we're now having, like, high-end people endorsing something that's considered criminal in a lot of places. Because, again, keep in mind, realistically speaking, and this is why I'm never going to get sponsored by a VPN. It's going to call them shit out for what they are. Truly speaking, a VPN is designed so you can go watch something. You can circumvent country restrictions. That is it. If you think it's for security, you're kidding yourself, because the security that it offers is equivalent to wearing a condom for a handshake. A broken condom for a handshake. It's like, does it protect you? I mean, kinda. But realistically, the things that you actually should be worried about, they're still going to get to you. It's not saving you from anything. VPNs are not useful. Unless you want to watch stuff overseas. Thing is, those rules are in place, in terms of services and stuff like that, are in place in a way that means that, for example, Netflix has a ruling against the use of VPNs. Most of these companies have rulings against the VPNs, which means that by doing that, you break their terms of service, and in doing so, by continuing to do it, you're actually breaking the law. You're also, in some countries, it is directly stated the circumvention of country restrictions is illegal. So, yeah, no, straight up, the VPNs break the law, so good showing there that I would argue, influential figure, regardless of if that's good or not, is advocating hugely for mass-scale action that is dubious at best, just because of a really... I don't know. I can't say that there must have been more going on. I can't understand the reasoning there. To be fair, I also hate on the belief that Twitter is a news network. That was not what it was. It's a social media platform that happens to have news on it, but it's now being targeted as a news outlet, a job outlet, all this sort of stuff. Don't get me wrong, these are good progressions to do alongside, but the problem is that the structure that Twitter is doing is moving towards these being the primary focus, not additional auxiliary aspects of it, which is what I take exception with myself. It's like, cool, you can add to it, that I don't see as a problem. By removing other aspects that were liked and such before, I mean, I don't pay for the platform, though I've considered it. But again, it's a social media platform. It's one of the more prevalent ones out there. It's a necessary evil in the modern day, especially if I wanted to be a content creator. I kind of can't do anything about that, and it's... But there's also the reason why I'm trying not to use Twitter for outside of that purpose. Because, it just causes issues, right? Like, sure, I get to see a lot of cool art, I get to see a lot of cool game dev stuff because I've curated my thing. I get game news, which admittedly, I'm very, very precautious on who I actually listen to with that stuff. Because, in the nicest way of saying it, I listen to people that say, like, just give me the information directly of what has happened, not subjective opinion on it. Like, that's why I hate, is it PC Gamer or whatever the fuck they are? Is there, like, the recent Sony game that got dumpstered online. It did not do well, it sold fuck all copies, and it was a massive flop. I haven't looked into the gameplay myself. It didn't look... Oh, no, I haven't looked hard into the gameplay. The game just didn't look that appetizing, right? It was never going to be a hook for me, regardless if it was good or not. But it did extremely poorly, and says a lot when there has been, like, so many layoffs, so many removals of a lot of things. This is kind of... This is now we're starting to see the ramifications of the companies cutting their staff and veterancy since COVID. This is the repercussions that we're finally actually starting to see. It takes, like, a lot of people underestimate how long events take to actually impact. So during, again, a reminder, during COVID, how it went was precursor to it. Most companies got rid of a few people, because they were afraid of economic decline. When it started getting well and they could do at home, they hired a lot of people. And then when the boom was over, they just started getting rid of people. That was the problem. And the problem was they also were getting rid of veterans in the process. It's not a good system. Anyway, I'm going to go now. I'm just getting very ranty. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. You're awesome. Stay awesome. And I hope to see you again next time. Till then, goodbye.